Hi, and welcome to another edition of Let's Talk Ghosts. The dogs are going crazy today. We'll do our best to edit them out, but we got 3 of them, small, medium, and large, and they make us crazy sometimes. But we love them. Mostly.
Speak for yourself.
Today we actually found something on Netflix that we wanted to talk about. There are several different programs there that we'll probably go over in the upcoming little whiles. We have focused on YouTube in the past because there's just so much there.
Right.
But this is a professionally done program, not a YouTube warrior kind of thing.
Yeah.
This one is called... Be quiet, Pickles. This one is called Files of the Unexplained. Now, unexplained can be all sorts of things, but they do have some paranormal stuff in there. The first episode we found, Bruce instantly was turned off within the first 3 seconds because it was about aliens. Episode 1 was aliens. He's not all that big on aliens.
It's not like I don't believe them, but I just don't want to fucking watch them.
Why? Why don't you want to watch it?
Because, you can only watch a guy get probed so much.
Oh, I don't know. Depending on where he's getting probed, I guess. The problem I find with a lot of those alien shows is they're all the same.
And it's all fake.
It's all speculative, and a lot of it has been faked. So, yeah, I do believe that there are other life forms out there. I don't believe we are the only intelligent life forms in the multiverse, because now we know there's more than one universe. But I think a lot of what we see is faked or speculated. So episode 2 got our attention. It was Ghosts of Myrtles Plantation. Now, first of all, the word ghosts gets our attention right away.
Right.
And Myrtles Plantation...
Well, it's been done for...
It has been done forever, but this was different.
Yeah.
This was different. And one of the things that they really went into the history with this one. So the very beginning, they had some interviews with a few of the principals, I guess, of Myrtles Plantation. And then some other folks, paranormal investigators, guests, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
They start off with Hester. Now, we've seen Hester in many of these paranormal shows.
All of them.
They always interview Hester. She is the tour guide that plays up on people's feelings of ghosts and voodoo and all that stuff, depending on the situation.
Yeah.
She really does.
She did her job.
She does. But it's funny how she'll sometimes say, oh, no, there's no voodoo. And then in the next breath, oh, yeah, there's voodoo. Yeah. It's just funny how she can't keep her stories straight for who she's talking to.
Yeah.
I remember with a Ghost Adventures program, she had specifically told them there's no voodoo. And then they talked to somebody who says, yeah, this person was a voodoo priest. Was it Chloe they said was a voodoo priestess?
No.
But she was active in voodoo, according to this guy, who was a voodoo priest or something. Yeah. Anyway, well, we'll get to Chloe in a wee bit. Anyway, so they started off with her, and she talks about how she shows people around. We actually got to see different parts of the castle, different parts of the plantation this time, the manor house this time, which was really quite nice. Then, for the first time ever, we met the owner. His name is Morgan Moss. And
he's the son of the owner.
Well, he's the owner now because his parents passed away.
Okay.
Yeah. So he got the home from his parents when they purchased it in 92, and they've now passed on, so he has the house now. And he really feels like he wants to do it right. He wants to do the history right, and he comments a lot of how it isn't popular history nowadays to talk about slaves and this and that, but he says that's the reality. Yeah. That's what it was, and trying to whitewash it away and make it sound all nicey nice isn't reality. So you get a lot of people that are, and they showed a lot of social media stuff where people complain about, oh, you're trying to glamorize the slave industry. He says, no, he's not. He's just trying to put out there what happened. Yeah. What happened. So I was really impressed with that. I really was. He speaks a few times throughout the episode, and I don't know, I was quite impressed. He did say Hester gave a really good history this time of the plantation.
Yeah.
It was called something different before, and then when the Woodruffs bought it, they changed the name to Myrtles Plantation because of the myrtles trees all around it.
Yeah.
So that's how it got the name, a Myrtles Plantation. Then they started talking about Chloe. And this one guy, his name is David Young. He's a paranormal investigator, and he stays there quite frequently. He says he loves the history of the place, and every time he goes, he gets something. So he starts talking about this servant girl named Chloe, and he says that she's often seen, she's got an ear cut off, which they believe it was for eavesdropping on the family. And then they talk about, and I thought that was funny because every slave or servant always puts your ear up to a door or whatever to hear what's going on, so they know when to go in, or what they know when they need to provide whatever to their master, their employer. So to me that just rung kind of funky. Anyway, he does talk about the story of the oleander poison in the cake, and then says that she was hung and her body was then weighted down and thrown in the water. I guess that sort of lake thing out front.
Yeah.
Didn't really say where, but I'm assuming that's probably where.
Yeah.
So then the documentary, I'm going to call it a documentary because it kind of is, came out and says that there's several questions. The first one is, did Chloe really exist? And they say that there's no evidence of Chloe ever existing. They said that in the 1950s, there was a history of a woman in a green turban or some kind of a head wrap. And that's how the story of Chloe started. Because they always say Chloe is they see her wearing a green turban or a green headscarf wrapped around her head. But that's where it started, they say, in the 50s. Prior to that, the woman, Chloe, was a French woman, then a French-Canadian nanny, and then another Canadian sort of something, which is interesting, being...
Well, Louisiana was settled by Canadians.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
French Canadians.
Well, there you go. Anyway, so they say there are no records of the Woodruff family having a slave named Chloe, and they had meticulous records.
Yeah.
So,
again, it's, you know, a wives' tale that just, blew up.
So Morgan, he says that the history being told is really quite impossible, but it's still being told.
Yeah.
And he says he's totally aware that these are all stories, but he says the stories are now so ingrained it's hard to get rid of them.
Yeah.
So if people want to believe that there's a Chloe, he doesn't try to stop it anymore. No. He said he's tried, it just doesn't work anymore.
No.
And of course we all know that of that infamous picture. That was his parents that took that picture for insurance purposes, and caught a woman. Obviously it's a woman, a female ghost, or probably a female ghost, between the two buildings when there was not supposed to be anybody there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, now suddenly that's Chloe. Everybody believes that's Chloe. Yeah. But there's so many stories of ghosts and apparitions in that place that it could be anybody. I mean, who knows who
Well,
could
they
be.
didn't do the slave quarters.
No, they didn't in this.
That was, I think a huge miss for Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are markings that date back
to the 1700s. Yeah.
So
I think they probably didn't do that because of time.
Yeah.
They could have done a part 3 episode part, episode 3 part 2 of this one, but they didn't.
Right.
And anyway, so they say, now if Chloe didn't exist, who is haunting the plantation? That is a good question. Now, the Woodruff family, they wanted to show that the family, the girls, the wife and the girls, did not die from this oleander poison, because Sarah died of yellow fever.
Yes.
And then 2 years later, 2 of the children also died of yellow fever.
Right.
And that's documented.
Right.
So they didn't die of oleander poisoning. You know, she wasn't trying to make them better or get them sick so she could make them better. Like Munchausen syndrome, right?
Yeah.
No. So after Woodruff lost his family, he then sold it to the Sterling family. And then they showed this huge, sort of almost like a family tree of the owners and the people that lived there and all the different hauntings that have happened on that site.
Right.
There is a lot of sightings, hauntings. I mean, there's no doubt the place is haunted.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm not doubting that at all. I just don't think it's Chloe.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there was a Chloe, unless Chloe has been manifested now.
Yeah.
Which is a possibility.
Yes.
Everybody believing this piece of energy is Chloe. So now it's Chloe.
Yeah.
And we know how that happens.
Yeah.
Everybody brings their own energy in and creates it. Right? It's kind of like creating a poltergeist.
Yeah.
So are there spirits, it says, making us acknowledge the real history of the Myrtles Plantation? That's a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, very possible. The spirits that are there are saying, no, there's no Chloe.
No.
This is what happened.
Yeah.
I think it was a very, very interesting episode.
Yeah. And
I wish they had have gone into some more depth, like you said, with the slave quarters, which are still there. And they actually panned and showed them. They just didn't go over to them, which is too bad. Beautiful grounds. I would love to go there one night. I'd love to go spend a night at Myrtles Plantation. I think that'd be so cool. So cool. They say that some people leave there in the middle of the night. One guy slept in his car because he didn't want to sleep in his room. So...
yeah, but that's when, it's, mind over matter.
yeah. And some people, they think they want to see a ghost and they don't know what to do when they do see one.
Yeah.
Because they get freaked out. Well, it's a ghost. You wanted that. You wanted the ghost experience. You got it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in Myrtles, and I would love to see it in person, but too far away. Too far away for us. For now.
Yeah.
Well, we never know. There's always a future. But that means traveling and go and drive, either driving or flying. I don't want to fly right now. Everybody's crazy on those planes. Nut jobs.
Yes.
That guy's not real.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really good. The history. If you have Netflix, it is called the
Unexplained.
Files of the Unexplained. And this is the second episode. Yeah. It is very good. It is very good. The history alone is worth it.
Yeah.
Because it really sets things right. Yeah. The whole Chloe story. I mean, I thought Chloe was true. But there's been so much talk about is she or isn't she, that this really clarified it for me.
And the thing of it is, the slaves always got blamed for things.
Oh, they got blamed for everything always because you had to blame somebody, right?
And, blaming her is like Bathsheba.
Yeah.
Blaming her on deaths that never happened.
Yeah. Well, they happened, but just not the way they said.
That's got to stain the property too.
Oh, yeah. I would think so. I would absolutely think so. Yeah. But it was very good. Even if, like I said, even if just for the history.
Yeah.
To set things right, because you've got people here actually talking about what they know.
Yeah.
Again, no evidence, no documented anything of a Chloe. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, there is the possibility that the name is wrong. And it's another name.
Yeah,
but she never poisoned anybody.
Yeah, the poisoning didn't happen.
Yeah, didn't happen.
Yeah, so.
Yellow fever and oleander poisoning, very different things. Yeah. Very different things. So yeah, it was really, really good. I would encourage you to, if you've got Netflix, to go give it a watch. We will be doing some more. There's lots of paranormal stuff on Netflix. We'll be taking a look at a few more of those in the coming weeks, months, maybe. I think I'm YouTubed out right now. I need to find fresh stuff. Yeah. And of course, this was very well professionally done, and how I like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So So there you have it, folks. Files of the Unexplained, Episode 2, Ghosts of Myrtles Plantation. Definitely a thumbs up from me.
Yes, and for me too.
Yeah. So wherever you are in this great big wide world today, have a good afternoon, day, evening, night.
Happy hunting.
Happy haunting. Bye now.